Hi everyone, it's Vivi and we're back to some Sly Cooper, on the topic of mind control and the possibility of it being another plot device. Let's go. There's a specific reason why I wanted to make this video, but first, let's go over the series when it comes to mind control a bit. The initial signs of mind control, even to the slightest, would date back to the 1600s, more presumably the time of Henriette Cooper. This was apparently explained in the Sly Collection Official Strategy Guide. Fun fact, going by this information, this is the first time we hear a Cooper, other than Sly, actually come into contact with Clockwork in words. The hypnotic capabilities of Clockwork's eye caused her crew to basically stand motionless, like zombies. Well, I mean, zombies you can, it's a debate, but her eye patch is what kept her unhypnotized, apparently. That's all the info we have about Henriette when it comes to Clockwork in the 1600s. After that, we got the Contessa, one of my favorite characters in the series, no doubt. She worked for Interpol. She had the skill to hypnotize people. Interpol believed she was doing so in order to reduce criminal urges, from criminals. Truth is, she was hypnotizing criminals into revealing their loot, their riches. Later, the gang find out she's been working low-key for the Claw Gang, running an illegal spice operation. She used part of Clockwork's body, the eyes, to further enhance her hypnotic capabilities. Her first victim to go through this upgraded hypno power was Carmelita. Before Carmelita, Contessa would use flashing lights, basically machinery, towards her hypnosis. Rajan's spices also helped further enhance the hypnosis, primarily turning people mad, yes, but the spice made people more susceptible to being hypnotized, according to Arpeggio. So in the end, she fails. She gets arrested and loses her title at Interpol. When she got freed from prison, she became a real estate broker. Reports of customers having hypno-like symptoms. Let's not forget the Mask of Dark Earth from Sly 3. It's not a person, it's not really a machine, it's a mask of dark magic, which made people stronger. In a way, it does change one's state of mind. They go from being neutral to completely aggressive. Oh, and we also get Karma Larga, don't forget. Talking about dark magic, Contessa did have a machine which Bentley believed was part mechanical and dark magic. Another case of hypnosis in the series, Miss Decibel from Tease and Time. After going through a temper tantrum at a young age, when people hated her music, her trumpet got stuck in her trunk, giving her the ability to hypnotize people. She used that newfound power to hypnotize people into committing crimes. Now the word hypnotize I keep using, I'll dive deeper into it very soon in the video. One question I have, just how long did the hypno sessions last? I get it, Contessa hypnotized criminals into giving her money basically. Decibel's case, same thing. Money is the end result. Technically, Contessa and Decibel, what they were doing, would be considered brainwashing. There's a difference between brainwash and hypnotherapy. Well, technically there was no therapy in Sly Cooper. Well, that's what Interpol thought with Contessa, but they do use the word hypnotize a lot in the series, instead of brainwash. Hypnosis alters one's state of mind dependently. It depends on the individual. The individual must cooperate and accept what's going on. The individual still has control over themselves, over their decisions. The doctor dives into their subconscious in order to, let's say, fix their past trauma or something. Hypnosis can help people better develop themselves, changing their lifestyle and decisions about life in a good way. Brainwashing is the complete opposite. The individual is not in control of what's happening to their mind. Their way of thinking completely gets altered without their acceptance. Whoever's hypnotizing them, they're making the decisions. And the person is vulnerable to that. What Carmelita went through would exactly be like that. Brainwashing. It was even stated, but I wanted to point it out. A different state of mind being forced on Carmelita. As for Decibel, same thing applies. Using the methods of sound, she brainwashed people into liking her music because deep down no one liked her music. So this is basically Hollywood, using a term, or interchanging a term, for a non-specific reason, aka, fiction. If anything, Clockwork in the 1600s, hypnosis technically would be the ideal term. According to the guide's description, everyone was transfixed except Henriette, because one of her eyes were covered. And why? Because they were focused on one object in particular. Any movie you've seen with hypnosis or whatnot, characters are focused on that. Now, one big debate in the community. Or is it? Was Penelope brainwashed? If so, by who? First of all, her sudden change in her state of mind in Sly 4 could be signs of brainwashing, because it's completely unlike her character we had, when of course she was with the gang. As I said in the previous video, we don't know anything of her past. If that was truly the case, they could have showed it, unless Sanzaru had planned that for a sequel. But still, that doesn't justify the lack of background on her decision making. It did feel sudden, out of the blue, but I still enjoyed the idea they were going with. Honestly, if this was brainwash all this time, I personally wouldn't be too excited about this idea. Why? It felt too generic and easy. Yeah, it's one method of having her go towards redemption, but I'm thinking to myself, they made the decision to have Penelope act this way. I understand the mole was originally supposed to be the boss of Mice and Mechs, so Penelope could have still been with the gang if it weren't for that decision making by Sanzaru. So if they went with this whole good girl gone bad situation, surely there's more potential behind her story as to why she acted this way. But if it is brainwash, I mean, it does make sense. Think about it. We don't know the amount of years that passed between Sly 3 and 4. We don't have official information on that. Whatever it was, an ample amount of time was used to brainwash Penelope. Was it Decibel, as many seem to believe, or was it Contessa? Chances of it being Contessa, it's low. I mean, would she risk going back to prison? I'm gonna say no. If you disagree, tell me why in the comments. Do consider one thing. She did work for Interpol, and with Interpol comes criminal records. Do recall that Paradox's father was involved in a diamond heist, a time where Contessa was most likely already recruited by Interpol. One possible evidence which could suggest that idea, well, she did mention Sly's father before Sly faced her. You know, the whole Cooper legacy thing. And with this, I bring up the following comment which summarizes it. User cburton1 in the comments, from the previous video, the Contessa herself is a skilled psychologist and hypnotist. I figured that she plotted revenge against the Cooper gang by using psychological warfare and decided to break them apart from the inside by investigating Penelope, hypnotizing her, and giving her a personality that put her above morality, as the Contessa once claimed that she was. Since the Contessa used to work for Interpol, she had to have known about the Paradox through both his and his father's criminal records, making him the perfect party to send Penelope to work for in an attempt to destroy the Cooper gang. Very interesting comment. If Contessa were to plot revenge against the gang, this could explain how she set her sights on Penelope. If so, what could have Contessa used to quote-unquote convince Penelope of thinking this way, that Bentley kept following that honorable thief nonsense? Surely that must have been part of the whole brainwashing scheme, right? Keep in mind, Bentley did have a short period of mind vulnerability in Sly 3, where he told Murray if he feels they're second fiddle to Sly. Someone like Contessa could have taken advantage of that and altered his mind into thinking that working with Sly was bad. But luckily, Bentley had his best friend, Murray, who kept his mind at ease. As for Penelope, if we are indeed looking at brainwash, what was her vulnerability? What made it easier for her to get a different state of mind? Was it the boyfriend-girlfriend arguing part? Thinking Bentley was spending way too much time on Cooper gang stuff? But the thing with that, boyfriend-girlfriend issues, if Sly's involved, I mean, Sly wasn't in the picture technically. Maybe despite Sly not being in the picture, he was too obsessed with Cooper-related stuff still, like, oh, I want to do this in the future, oh, what if Sly comes back, you know, obsessed. We don't know what it is, but remember, we don't know the length between Sly 3 and 4, how much time has passed. Enough time could have passed to make Penelope turn her back on Bentley. Even without brainwashing, it's possible. We don't know anything of her past, remember. We don't know her deep, dark, true desires. Or if we're still looking at brainwash, did Penelope listen in on Dr. M's conversation in Sly 3 through an earpiece? Or did Dr. M come into contact with Penelope some point during the last episode? You know, telling Penelope why is she working for Sly Cooper out of all people, right? So with that being said, folks, this is it for the video. So as usual, leave comments, your own theories, and stuff in the comments section below. I'd love to read what you have to say, and as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for the support. Until next time.